Welcome to Long Island Tea with your hosts, Kristen Sharon and Sharon Wyman from Discover Long Island, the region's official destination marketing and leadership organization. Tune in weekly to catch these Long Islanders spill the tea, dishing on the best from the destination, seasonal adventures, insider tips, mishaps, and more. Long Island Tea is brought to you by Long Island Wine Country, home to one of the top 10 wine regions in the United States. Just minutes from New York City, Long Island's wine region boasts over 30 vineyards growing award-winning varietals. For a complete list of vineyards, tasting rooms, and events across the region, head to liwines.com.
Hey, Sharon.
Hey.
How you doing?
I'm good.
How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah?
Yeah, actually, I'm really good. We're obviously in December, which is exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I've been looking forward to this podcast.
I know.
I feel like now I'm spoiled.
I know.
So when we don't do it like, on a weekly basis or like every other day, I'm like, when are we doing the next podcast?
And we're totally lost without
I have a lot to say. And now it's gotten awkward because I can't talk to you in the meantime.
I know. How many times are we like, wait, I have to tell you. And you're like, no, just wait.
She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I can't talk to you.
Right.
Because I have to save it for my tea
I
time.
know. And everybody else knows about it. And I don't.
Yeah, Sharon's like, this is weird.
It's
I know,
awkward.
but I'm excited to tell you my tea time
I know,
today
I
because
can't
I've been holding on to it.
I know. So I heard.
And I just came from my favorite restaurant,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm going to tell you, it was not on my plan. See, we have big news this week for your tea time, but we have a new person with us today. I'm not going to ruin your tea time, Sharon, but we have a new person. Alyssa is our new producer, and Alyssa's going to learn that I completely go off script.
Yes. We both do. We
And
both go on tangents.
I just did that thing that I like. So we go off script. You do too. But I just went to my favorite restaurant, Sempre Vivolo, and it's right here in Hauppauge, and it's so old school New York. It's just what I love about it.
I know. It's so awesome.
You go there, all the waiters are wearing suits, and you can't understand any of the specials.
Right. Because it's full-blown Italian.
They tell you all the specials, and you're like, you catch every third word.
Yeah. Can you repeat that?
But they're like, beautiful. What can I get you, beautiful? I'm like, I'm a sucker. I'm like, yes, this is my new favorite restaurant. I'm going to come here every day.
Total sucker.
And the food is amazing, and I'm probably usually the only woman in the whole restaurant.
Right.
And the bar, remember when we went that time and the bar was like fully packed at 2 p.m.?
Yeah. It's like every time you go there on a Monday.
And I was there one time and some guy was like, anything you need done, there's a guy. And
I got a guy
in that bar that can do it for you. I'm like, I love this place. It's so New York. So I'm in a good mood because of that as well. Also, it's the holidays. So last time we talked, we flipped our porch for fall. Have you flipped your porch for the holidays?
Not yet. Slowly. We do this slowly, right? We talked about that. I definitely got the wreath on the door.
Okay.
You know, it's beautiful. It's huge.
What's it look like?
It's a Christmas wreath with little red balls and presents.
You said red balls like sweater weather balls. Yeah. I was like, that's funny.
Red balls.
That's okay. That sounds pretty.
It's very pretty. I got my tree up.
Oh.
Right?
All done, decorated and everything?
Halfway. My poor children.
Yeah, good.
You know? My poor children.
So I'm a Christmas. I love Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually do 2 trees.
You do like more than that, right?
No, I do 2 trees. It started because, so when I grew up, I always had a really horrible tree. My mother was, I'm doing air quotes, allergic to real trees until I moved out of the house. And suddenly her allergy was cured. Now she's had a real tree ever since. Fine.
Yeah.
But we had the worst, ugliest tree all the time. It was totally phoned in. So now and then I didn't have kids for a long time. I was married for 8 years where I had kids. So I had like that designer tree that was color themed every year.
We call it like the Bloomingdale's tree.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it was probably more for me. It was like a Macy's tree.
Okay. All right.
You know what I mean? Let's be realistic. Okay. But it was like different colors and I would change. So then when you had kids, love them, and then they would come home with their homemade ornaments. And I'm like,
yeah, I have a lot of those.
It doesn't go with my blue and silver theme.
Exactly.
I don't know what's happening.
Well, it's funny because like this year I have my toddler, right? She's 1.5, so I had to get a fake tree. Oh. And my husband's so against it every year. My son is also on that bandwagon where he's like, Mom, this is ridiculous.
but it actually is really beautiful.
The fake trees look so pretty. The
They do.
lighting is perfect.
Perfect. They don't fall. You know what I mean? Like, they don't get like...
I see them, and I get jealous because they look so perfect, but at the same time, I'm a real tree diehard.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have 2 real trees.
And it's something about the smell when you walk in. Exactly.
I need to have the added stress of making sure the tree has water every night.
Let me ask you this. Do you put aspirin in the water?
I don't even know what you're saying right now.
Oh, my God. That's such a trick.
What?
Yeah. You put 2 aspirins in the water, and it keeps it alive longer.
Like, it has to be aspirin. It can't be, like, ibuprofen.
Sometimes I do Advil.
Really?
It's the only thing I got in the house.
Really? I was like, okay. Oh, my gosh.
It keeps it alive longer.
I've never heard that. That is amazing. I'm going to do that. So, we have pretty much flipped our porch. I have that whole system that ties into each other. So the wreath ties into the little things on the side of the door, and the garland, and it's all
gosh.
lit.
Does it look like Pottery
Barn?
Barn?
This year I have gone a little bit overboard with the pillows, the outdoor pillows.
But you have that porch swing. You have to.
I know. And now I just said the other day, I was like, I drove by my neighbor's house, and so there's like on the side, where you line the road, there's beautiful bushes and trees on Long Island, of course. And a couple of my neighbors have their outside, like, street line trees, like Christmas trees, lit. And so I'm like
fully decorated or just lights?
No, just lights.
Okay.
So now I feel like,
that's high maintenance.
I feel like we're bringing the neighborhood down.
No.
So I already laid the groundwork the day. I was like, we're going to need an extension cord.
Thomas is like Clark W. Griswold.
He is now. And he's like, okay. Sure.
Whatever you want.
Yeah, so that's my new thing. But I'm in the holiday spirit, which I'm super excited about. And speaking of, let's just address a couple things from the last episode.
Okay.
Which I thought was awesome. By the way, I'm still loving it.
I know.
The podcast.
I'm a little obsessed.
We're getting great feedback.
We are.
And I like it. So one of the things I brought up on the last episode was that, I was in a shame spiral from the Quarantine 15, and we're going to bring in the Fit Doc.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
And I thought, at the time when we talked about it, I'm like, I'm going to bring in the Fit Doc to get me on the right path, and everybody, all of us on the right path, during the holidays. And as soon as that episode aired, everyone's like, I don't know what you're saying. No one wants to
talk about exercising. Right? Where's the cookies?
Yeah, during the holidays. They're like, what are you even saying? No, I mean, I love that. I mean, the Fit Doc is always welcome, of course. But everyone's like, well, you're going to talk about, like, dieting or losing weight or no. So everyone gave me the feedback, which I think is actually good, that New Year's.
Yeah, resolution.
Yeah. Yeah. That's when everybody wants to talk about turning over that new leaf.
Yeah.
And new year, new you.
Yep.
All that nonsense.
Everybody's like, 2021. It's a whole new thing.
Yeah. So the Fit Doc, just for those of you that were tuning in today, I'm sure all of our family, like I said, we'll bring her in January. And I just think that's a good thing to just, like, kick us off on the right track.
Yeah, start the new year.
Also, I wanted to address one more thing from the last episode. You know what? This is a learning experience for us, right?
Yeah, we're so new, but...
Yeah, and one of the things I noticed when I was listening to the last episode is that I don't finish my thought.
Right.
So I will have a thought, and I'm saying something, and then I look at you, and you clearly understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So then I just move on to the next thing.
Right.
And then I'm listening to myself. A perfect example is the last episode I was talking about the villages and how you live in a small village and how cute it is because everybody knows you and how everybody in my village knows my favorite things. And I was like, oh, and I took my, 15 or my 16-year-old daughter to my favorite dive bar. And they were like, oh, this is your daughter. We're going to put her picture behind the bar to make sure she doesn't, try to come in and,
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, but I didn't say it. I'm like, first of all, what people don't understand is my local, it's not even a dive bar. It's really a cute little house.
It's such a fun little place, yeah.
It's a house across from the farmer's market, and we sat outside.
I remember the first time you found that place, and I was like, oh my gosh.
It's like a grassy area. It's like a picnic area like outside farmy, right? Where the whole neighborhood goes.
Yeah.
And so when I listened to it, I'm like, oh my God, everyone's going to think that I'm taking my child
just leave it there.
I'm like, get it together and finish your thought and make sure you've explained things correctly. So we're going to get better at that too. But most importantly, we are sponsored by Long Island Wine Country.
Yes.
And we have gotten really good at that.
Yes, certainly. Certainly good.
We've mastered that part of the episode. And today, I'm really excited. In fact, I don't know if Chris can get it in the camera. I'm gonna bring it over here. Or Chris, come on, Chris. Here, hold on. It's RGNY. We should put it in the shot. I want people to see it that are watching.
The Sauvignon Blanc.
Move the water aside. No one wants to see the water.
Nobody wants to see the Poland Spring.
It's RGNY. There's a Sauvignon Blanc today, and then we also have a red wine, which I'll have you explain, Sharon. But RGNY it's interesting because it's like one of the newer vineyards on Long Island, but it actually used to be Martha Clara Vineyards.
Yeah, it's one of the first ones when you first get on the North Fork.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of the first ones you hit. It's a great location, so you don't have to drive too far to get there. It's on a gorgeous setting. There's like outdoor, again, those lawn chairs.
Yeah.
So when you go with the whole family, the whole crew, you can hang out on a beautiful day. But it used to be Martha Clara. Now it's RGNY, and it's this great family that comes from Mexico, and they have very successful vineyards in Mexico, and then heard about Long Island, terroir.
Ooh,
yeah.
Look at you.
I know.
Wow.
Yes. And
you
decided
wine connoisseur.
And because Long Island's a great place to grow wine.
Yeah.
And as winemakers, they recognize that from across the world, and said, we're going to come here and do it. So we're happy to have them.
I think it's cool. This one bottle actually says on it that it was like 75 degrees and a cloudy day when that specific grape was picked.
Also, it's really pretty.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
You and I really appreciate packaging.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's kind of artistic, RGNY. What do you think about it?
I think it's delicious. Of course, I always think they're delicious. I never have a negative.
Sharon's like
comment about the Long Island wine.
I think the worst comment you've made is like, it's okay. I mean, I'm going to drink it all, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, it's delicious.
No, this one is. I think it's exceptionally delicious. Yeah. Do you want to read? Like, what do you taste here?
Ooh, we're going into the aromatics.
I mean, it's really like crisp.
Yeah, they describe it as the dried apricot and grass and honey. It's actually really delicious. It's a nice light wine.
Yeah.
I like a Sauvignon Blanc.
I don't know that I would want to drink grass. I don't know that grass, but I don't taste grass.
No.
But I do the apricot and honey for sure, and the grass probably makes it less sweet.
Sauvignon Blanc is very crisp.
Yeah.
Any Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah.
It's more citrusy. So I like the honey.
Yes. And then we also have a beautiful, well, I shouldn't say, we're going to taste the red wine next because we're already almost done with the white wine.
Sorry.
Because we have to practice and
we prep.
Talk about, we prep. We have to get
We call it the prep.
Yeah, pregame. So we'll do the red wine too, which is also from RGNY. And the red wine is a 2018 Cielo Tinto, which is like a red blend. And that one it says aromas of raspberry and plums, followed by vanilla, chocolate, and spices. That sounds straight up my alley.
Right? And it sounds like it's a really good pairing wine. Food pairing.
I kind of want to get through that. I want to try that. Like, that sounds...
We'll get there.
Anything with vanilla and chocolate. And
seriously.
So, again, big thanks to RGNY and Long Island Wine Country for sponsoring this podcast. And they're so cute. We've heard from them recently, and they were really excited about, thankfully, having us talk about them. And I think it's actually a perfect partnership. So, Sharon, now that we're in, what goes with wine is the holidays. Right? And holidays are fun times, but they can also be kind of stressful.
Yeah. I mean, it's Christmas, right?
And it's Christmas and COVID-19.
Exactly. I talked to my son. I mean, I feel bad because we went to go do one of those, light shows at our local town hall that does like a, meet Santa at the end. So we went there last night. We're driving, and we're all excited. Everybody's pumped. We just slammed down dinner because we had to get out quick because the baby goes to bed at a certain time. We get there, and there's a car accident.
Oh.
So we can't get in. I mean, it's like completely blocked, and it's only last night Santa's there, So, of course, we're going to do more. But my poor kid is like, Mom, 2020 sucks.
But you know what I say to my kids during that time? Because there's been a couple times when, you're on your way home from a trip and you're stuck in a traffic jam because of a horrible car accident or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I always say, be glad you're not the one in the car.
And that's exactly what I said. I'm like, be thankful that it's not us.
I mean, there's poor people in the car.
Oh, yeah.
But,
it was a fender bender. It wasn't anything, but of course, right on Sunrise Highway, it blocks it.
And of course, it's Braden, right?
Yeah.
We call him. He's totally right. It's like
he's like my realist,
he's
like
par for the course
he's
for this
such
year.
a realist. 2020 sucks. I'm like, you're right, kid.
It really does. I love him. He is real.
He's so unbelievable.
I love that how old is he now? 6?
8.
What?
I know. Pearl's going to be 5. That's crazy.
Oh.
Flies. I know. Like you said, Kenzie turned 16. I'm like, holy crap.
Yesterday he was 6. The fact that he says it sucks.
Yeah, I know. He's not allowed to say it, but like, it's his curse word.
How do you discipline that when it's true?
I know, exactly. And I felt such mom guilt, like driving down the highway, and I'm like, okay, we're getting there, like I'm seriously rushing because.
Well, and this is what we're going to talk about. Oh gosh, I meant to talk to our board chairman about this earlier. I'm going to have to talk to him later. But this is what we're going to talk about our next episode when we talk about the F word.
Yeah.
As our topic. I want to make sure he's okay with that. I've kind of run by a couple.
We kind of ran it by him.
It's part of New York culture, and it's sometimes it's you discipline the kids. Of course, they need to know their manners, but like kids in New York, they'll sometimes drop the F-bomb because it's part of and you're like, yeah, it really is messed up.
You can't even.
It's hard to argue.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, I'm sorry to hear that, but the cool thing is, as you and I were talking about, and what this episode is about, is kind of holidays, attractions, things that you can do during the winter season when you have a lot of time off. You're trying to keep your kids entertained. Or you're trying to entertain yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a hard year because of COVID, but there are a lot of things to do.
Right.
Right? And so, and you were going to your village thing, but, of course, shopping is, so all the downtowns are.
Shop small, but it's like shop small every day. Like we did Shop Small Saturday, but it's like support the small business.
Yeah.
Every day.
We actually this year, in partnership with the Suffolk County Alliance of Chambers, launched a whole Shop Small campaign.
Right. Yeah.
And it's on discoverlongisland.com/shopsmall. If you would like to learn more and have the tech tools to help you, the My Chamber app and the Downtown Deals Travel Pass to help you shop small. But shopping is important. You can also, I was saying, online shop small.
Yeah. Yeah. You can go to their own websites.
And I'm not just talking about like, toys or clothes. The cool thing about shopping small on Long Island is that you can like shop local seafood.
Yeah.
You can support, farmers and local fishermen and, candle makers. And honestly, there's just endless kinds of businesses where you can shop small by going online and just supporting them.
Yeah, definitely.
But also making sure that we go out. Right. And I was reading the paper today.
Of course.
As I do every morning.
As we do.
And as we do. Thank you for reading the paper with me. And there were really cool things to do. A lot of people think that stuff's canceled this year because of COVID. And a lot of things are not as they're
not as they were.
Have been.
Right.
In the past. And it's kind of a bummer. But I was really surprised to see a lot of things where you could go see Santa. There was like a local toy store in Northport that you can schedule a private Santa experience. Yeah. Or, there's igloos that
We had one in my village that was, Santa was in a snow globe. So there was no sitting on his lap, but you can go up and wave to him. It was so cute.
So cute. And then Huntington is doing, let's say Huntington. Like the railroad. Huntington. Yeah. They have a whole new thing on like Wall Street. They blocked it off.
They block it off completely.
Yeah. And you can walk up and it's amazing. I couldn't believe the Christmas
so excited
decor.
To do that. I think that's going to be so cool.
You know what was else that was funny in the paper, and I always have to kind of sometimes make fun of things too, is that they were talking about the Rockefeller Tree.
Yeah. How pathetic it is this year. But it's so funny because people don't realize that they actually do. Am I cutting you off on this?
No.
Okay. Rockefeller Tree is always kind of disheveled, and they fill it. And I actually saw a TikTok last night.
I love that you're getting your news on TikTok now.
I know.
You've gone over to the dark side.
I did. But there was a whole TikTok on these men like literally stuffing the tree with garland and making it full and making it look beautiful, because this year it's like all over social media how Rockefeller Tree is literally like a 2020 tree,
Well, I think people are actually at this point looking for 2020 things to complain about.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
But here's what if I'm going to complain about two things on the Rockefeller Tree, which I'm excited about. I love it. I love everything New York City at Christmas still. We talked about last episode, New York City is our city.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? And it's the greatest city in the whole world. And it's the best part about living on Long Island is our proximity to New York City. Yeah. And I was really, I'm also getting a lot of news from TikTok, Sharon. And
don't be hating.
I know. And one of the things they were saying is like, the store windows are open.
Yeah.
And Bryant Park is open. And the Rockefeller Tree, I was laughing because there was an article in the paper today, and it was like, oh, so they're trying to keep crowds down. They're going to start to sell tickets now. You have to have a ticket to see the tree. Okay, and they're like, details will be out in the next couple weeks. I'm like, okay, well,
it's December.
That's
I'm sorry.
who's managing this?
I don't know.
Everybody's already lined up to see the tree right now.
Yeah. But there's a whole thing all over the news, like nobody coming to the tree.
You're not going to stop New Yorkers from seeing the tree. They want to see the tree. But right here on Long Island, I think there's a ton of stuff to do. You know, if you actually go to Long Island TV and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I don't mean to be a commercial, but it makes me crazy. Like I had our best friends over at Thanksgiving. They're like our neighbor. They're in our pod. You know, you were allowed to have your pod over for Thanksgiving. Okay. And our best friends were over, and they were like, it makes me crazy. People are like, Kristen, what should we do? Where should we go for, you know? I'm like, watch the show. I do a whole show called Long Island TV.
You didn't watch it? I know.
So they don't have to tell individual people on Long Island one by one what to do. This is why we
do these things.
Watch the show.
Yeah.
And listen to the podcast. I tell you everything to do. So if you're watching Long Island TV, we give you a whole slew of awesome things to do for the holidays. The Jones Beach drive-through, the igloos, the Millridge Inn is decorated.
Such a Long Island
There's a ton of stuff to do. But there's a lot of attractions to do as well. And some of these attractions are year-round, but during the holidays, when the winter, you know, you're desperate, your kids are home from school.
Yeah, you want to get out.
You know, you got to get them off the couch.
Yeah,
you got to get them off their phones for just a second.
Off the video games.
One of my favorite places, one of my first places that I took my kids when I moved here, and one of our still favorite places to this day, the Long Island Aquarium.
Yay, I love it.
Right? Have you been there a million times?
I was a member there for a very long time.
Oh.
Like family membership.
It is always new, always changing. It's so cool. Now, I just saw on News 12 this past week that their shark dives are back up and running.
That's so awesome.
I can't.
I know. It's scary.
Yeah. Speaking of, I mean, I'm adventurous.
You are. You're more adventurous than I am. I mean.
Not that adventurous.
You really are. I gotta say you are.
Oh, thank you. But, you know, I never say never. I'd probably do it.
Yeah, you would. I know. That's what I was saying. Like, I really think you totally
do it.
would.
I'd probably do it. I'm a sucker for a challenge is my problem.
Exactly. Challenge me. Watch.
Yeah.
Do it. You won't.
Just dare me. And then I'm like, okay, now I have to do it. Yeah. But the aquarium is really cool. And today we're really excited because we have a special guest.
I know. It's awesome.
Who is the executive director of the Long Island Aquarium, as well as the Hyatt Place Inn, as well as the Preston House, which is the boutique hotel right across the street.
It's beautiful.
As well as the Atlantis Catering Center and the Marine. He does like pretty much everything related to that area.
Talk about a jack of all trades.
And guess what else he does?
He's our chairman.
He's our board chairman. Discover Long Island. So he's also somehow in his spare time helping. Like, I don't know, he's helping guide this ship, which is scary.
Right.
Can you imagine?
Right.
Being our board chairman this year was we're doing all this crazy stuff.
But wow, the support. And, you know.
It's pretty cool that he lets us do all this and actually supports it.
Yeah.
So we're really excited to welcome our next guest, who is Brian Deluca, Executive Director of the Long Island Aquarium. Thanks for joining us.
Is there an applause button?
No,
we'll get it.
Or a light?
Oh my God! I said he's out divaing.
I was just gonna say I'm so excited to welcome our new diva.
I am happy to be here.
Oh, good.
And I appreciate your time. And listening last week and knowing that now you play the violin was.
Oh my God!
Awesome?
He really listens.
Yeah.
That's scary, isn't it?
Had I had time, I was going to stop at one of those stores.
You were
going
gonna
to
rent one for the day.
Ask you, rent one for the day and ask you to perform for us.
Well, no. P.S. I still have my original violin.
Oh.
I won't get rid of it.
So we're going to have to ask for
No,
that.
and
One
I
of the
also
episodes.
I also have two of the violins. Do you have instruments that you bought your kids that they played for 5 minutes?
Yes.
Yeah. And I need to sell them or
On
on
eBay.
eBay or whatever.
Marketplace.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah, please.
So, I love your Long Island stuff. So do you know the now that this RGNY? Do you know who the original family that owned that Martha Clara?
Was it Entenmann's?
Yes.
Oh!
Wow. So the transplant, the Sun Devil,
Big dub.
comes up with the answer. Yes.
Well,
so the Entenmann's family.
That's cool.
So Sebastian does a great skit. I don't know if you've seen that skit where he talks about the company comes.
Who's Sebastian?
Sebastian Maniscalco. He's the comedian. Never seen
Okay,
him?
no.
Oh my goodness! Oh my God, he's hilarious.
Yeah, yeah.
So he does
Yeah.
a great skit about company coming over, and the Entenmann's is saved for the company.
Oh,
Don't touch
don't
that
touch it.
cake.
Yeah.
That's saved for the company.
Well, that's the
And
only
so
reason I knew the answer is
growing up
because
with
I love
Entenmann's.
Entenmann's.
Entenmann's, like there's like the Thursday cake. It only
So-
came out on Thursdays.
Yeah.
It was like that
So-
chocolate.
So that family bought that in the 70s. You know, I mean, they were one of the second or third families that bought a vineyard. You know, out
Yeah.
there. I bought property and planted.
But I think,
Been
Brian,
vines.
you are a Long Island native, right?
Yeah, born and raised in Lake
you-
Ronkonkoma.
Ronkonkoma. Was I
Ronkonkoma.
messing that up the first time?
Yeah.
Ronkonkoma.
I remember it.
But you have a tremendous amount of knowledge. Just before we get into the aquarium and everything that you do, there are a lot of famous families out there on the East End, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that own vineyards, and every time I hear it, I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I mean the whole Hampton scene from Bellport out. It's,
Yeah.
You know, it's all, you know, New York influencers and celebrities that live in the city, and that's their
And
weekend
like
getaway.
I was saying on one of our last episodes, like the inventor of Pirates Booty is from here, and 1-800-Flowers is from here, and another cool thing is like Gruchi Fireworks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Gruchi families, and you may not know if you're not from Long Island but if you've ever seen the fireworks over the Washington, D.C. monument at 4th of July, or in Dubai, or in Macy's, those are all Gruchi family fireworks. It's like there's a lot
world
of
renowned for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of, and funny, I was, I'm sure you were watching The Bachelorette as well, and the other night, and one of the guys was trying to impress The Bachelorette, and he was like, this will be our house in New York, and this will be our house in the Hamptons, Long Island. And I was like, oh, my girls were like, oh.
Thanks for
Name
the
drop.
I
clarity.
know. I was like, oh, you said Hamptons, Long Island. That's exciting.
Now you know what it is.
And she was like, no, that's okay. I know, by the way. Good move, Bachelorette. But we're here today because we're, and I say kids, but it's also not just for kids, because we're talking about diving with the sharks. In the winter, we're talking about the winter downtime of the holidays, first of all. Kids are off school, families are off school, you're looking for something to do, especially as no one's able to travel this holiday season. People need, yes, we're all being safe, we're all staying home, we're all binge watching television and, eating sourdough bread.
Drinking Long Island wine.
Some of us. But we need to get out. And we need to do something fun and have a good experience. And the aquarium it's really an amazing attraction that has been around for a while. It's more, what I love about it? It's more than an attraction. It's really a sanctuary for those animals. You do so much for the animals.
Yeah, we do a lot of rescues, of course. We have the New York Marine Rescue Center there, which rescues all the turtles, the endangered sea turtles, and the seals in our New York waters. That's the only team that goes out and does rescues all across the island and up to the Hudson River, all the way out to the Rockaways. And that team runs out, and we have a whole hospital in the back of the aquarium. A lot of people don't know that because there's restrictions in the public going back there and seeing that.
Yeah.
So that's a very unique thing that we have there in the hospital. And then we have a lot of rescued animals that are just in the aquarium. We have 2 adorable sea lions from California that were abandoned by their mother, maybe eaten by a shark. But so they were picked up by San Diego SeaWorld, and they put a list out and say anybody want to be able to adopt these creatures, and we have them, and they're adorable, and our team does a great job. And I really want to thank our team. We have a tremendous amount of experienced, knowledgeable people that care for these animals like you care for your own pets, and they tend to them and take care of them every single day. Their dietary needs, their medical needs, their veterinarian care, their entire habitat maintenance and care, and life support systems. We have life support systems that run 24/7, 365.
That's
and
amazing.
Our team is just, during the whole crisis when we were closed, they were there every day. We had them on split schedules, and we had A, Bs, and A team, B team type thing. But they're very committed, and I'm fortunate that I have such a committed team to our collection of precious animals that we have.
Has it always been a rescue? Has the aquarium always been a rescue, or when did that start?
So the rescue center's been there,
Okay.
And it's kind of been through a couple different name changes, but
Yeah.
they've always been within the aquarium, and
Okay.
we house them. They are there rent free. We support them financially.
Yeah.
We do need support from the public, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to
the
say that,
aquarium
Brian,
and the rescue center.
because, we just went through Giving Tuesday, right? And this is the time of year where you are reflective, especially in 2020. And everybody was like, thank goodness we have our health, we have our families, we have our jobs, you know, and you want to give back. And the cool thing is just by going to the aquarium, you give back. But I think it's so important that people don't realize when attractions, especially during quarantine and COVID, shut down.
Yeah.
You shut down. You weren't allowed to have any guests, and still you're very minimal. And we want to talk about like what you're doing in case people have a question, like is it safe? All of those things. But your minimal capacity, all of those things. But the animals don't know that. I mean, the animals still have to have 24-hour care, feeding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you have no income coming in, you know, during that time, and limited still today. And yet your expenses and what you do for those animals, it never stops.
Yeah, the expenses are astronomical on a monthly basis.
I'm sure.
The utility bills and the food bills, and again, you know, the veterinarian care, and just running the operation and paying for that staff, that trained, educated staff, take care of those animals. So that's, you know, that's challenging when you're closed. You know, so we did a membership drive, and people bought memberships, so that was helpful. And you know, it became active when they came in, and then they had a whole year to come in as many times they want. And I really, you know, as often as I get down into the main aquarium, I see the public really enjoying it. The same families, you know, pushing those toddlers. You were a membership at one time, and it just, you know, they take advantage of that downtime, you know, in the morning, you know, and they meet their girlfriends for coffee, and pushing the strollers, and the toddlers can run around, and it's ideal because they're getting educated on the conservation efforts that we put into the New York waters and our Long Island waters, which are precious, and how to take care of the animals and take care of our environment, you know, and the plastic bags and all those things and balloons are all important things that, you know, we try to communicate, and as the public comes in, we educate them to enjoy the aquarium because we have some really cool, unique things, but to also know about our environment and protecting Long Island waters.
Yeah, and the animals are so dang cute.
Dang.
They really are dang cute. They really are. Like
They're so dang cute.
Yeah, dang. I don't know if dang is a word I would use. But they are certainly
so
cute.
when we first, I was saying, when my daughters first moved here, because of course you've been on our board since before I even came, you've been always a great advocate of Long Island tourism, and so you invited us to come see the aquarium. And listen, my girls, they were little. They were coming from Scottsdale, and they were kind of like, where did you move us? What is happening here? Where are all of our resorts and our swimming pools and our spas? And then you took us to the aquarium, and my girl, suddenly I was like, cool, because you're a celebrity. They were like, you know him?
Right. So that made you cool.
That's the aquarium guy.
You gave her street cred.
Mom knows
Say
him.
no.
He's gonna.
And then you took them paddling for their birthday, right?
Yes.
At the marina.
Yes, we went stand-up paddling for her birthday just this past year, and it was so cool. Again, during COVID in July, but paddleboarding outside, totally distance safe, and your team was amazing.
Yeah.
Although we went against the current.
Well, you had a pretty good wind, and it had outgoing
It was
tide.
quite the day to do it.
Yeah. I worked on my arm muscles a lot that day, and I learned a lot about my care. But it was a great 13th birthday for my daughter, and she was like, "We can do this, Mom.
Yeah,
we got
good.
this."
So we do a stand-up paddleboard and kayak race every year for the rescue
yeah.
center. It's a fundraiser. So now I know that you and your daughter are going to come out
We're
and
gonna
partake.
compete.
Yeah,
They're going to compete
I'm
now.
pretty sure we
it.
can win.
If you can go against the wind and
If
the
you
outgoing
handle
tide,
that.
We were so
You could be
late
a
coming
winner.
in because the wind, I think it was like right after Hurricane Isaias, and we were like, sure, we should go paddleboarding right now.
Sounds great.
I'm sure it's fine. And
It'll be
coming
good.
back against the wind, like, oh my God, half an hour after you guys closed, your guys come out looking for us.
Oh, the rescue team.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
rescue team came
they're so
out because
good.
we were saying, and by then, we were like, don't even come for us. We have almost made it.
We're
We've got
determined.
this. We've got this. Don't
But
touch
it was
us.
such a good bonding
It was
experience.
a bonding. My arms were like literally
On
jelly.
fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was great, you know, and those are the things that your kids remember, are these things that you go out and do. And it's good to stay home and stay safe, but when you go out and you have these memories, that's what, you know, builds your character and that you remember.
Yeah, it is about spending that special time
Yeah.
with your family, generationally even. You know, I see grandparents taking their grandchildren. It's great. And, you know, what we've built there is a whole resort destination. I mean, you know, we have the Preston House and restaurant across the street, which is, you know, a beautiful boutique property.
It's super bougie.
Yes, it is. It's beautiful.
It's
New York-
gorgeous.
People have
New York
not been to
City.
the Preston House,
Yeah.
which is, by the way, it's like it's named after General Preston, who was a soldier in the Civil War.
Look at
Like,
you.
Brian's all impressed
Look
that
at
I know
you.
this.
He is.
I love history. I'm a big Civil War history person. So it and it was completely refurbished, and it looks like one of the top Manhattan designed bougie boutique
Yeah.
hotels. It's mind blowing, really. When you go in there, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, and you know, and just even when people started getting out of Manhattan and coming out to the hotel,
Yeah.
they were like, wow, this is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But the whole property, we have the Hyatt across the
I was
street.
going to say the
you
Hyatt
know,
Place, yeah.
which is, there's 100 rooms there. It's on the water. It's on the Peconic River. The kayaking is there. We have a 110 slip marina. You can come for the day with your boat and eat outside at one of our, outdoor cafes. And then we have our banquet hall. We have all of our weddings that go on there, and then the aquarium. So and the butterflies.
Yeah.
So we have really a great deal of things to do just right there. And what I think is really neat is that people get to stay at Riverhead at the Hyatt, and then they'll shoot up to the North Fork, and they'll go out to Greenport for the day and enjoy all the things to do on the way out there, or they'll go to the South Fork and hit Sag Harbor, or go to Montauk Lighthouse, which is fantastic.
I mean, Riverhead though
Is like the gateway.
It is,
Yeah.
and it's really come into its own lately.
Yeah.
Like I could see an entire day just in Riverhead, because you do the aquarium, you stay overnight, but the Riverhead Cider House,
Yeah.
is super cool.
Yes.
And there's like great restaurants. I can't remember what was the Italian restaurant we went to that day. Right at
Michelangelo's is
Michelangelo's.
there. Parabel
it's
is
yeah,
there.
it's
Parabel, yeah.
nice. And there's like bakeries. There's tons of stuff to do just in
Right
that
in the
area.
downtown.
Right, and people are looking to get out.
Yeah.
But can you tell us a little bit just about how people can? Let's say someone just wanted to support you.
So one, there's gift cards you can purchase. So you can buy gift cards in interval amounts, and then they can use that for membership or events.
Admission or yeah.
Events. So we have a lot of events. It's probably our 9th year. We do an event called Fish and Sips.
Mm-hmm.
So you come into the aquarium, and we have probably 30 vendors there between the distilleries, the breweries, and the vineyards, and that's a great event, well attended. Hotels in the area sell out, and we limit tickets on that, even non-COVID time.
Yeah.
And we have Taste the East End. That's another great event.
Yeah, that's a good
where
event.
we get the restaurants that utilize the wines and the breweries, and they kind of make dishes and pairings.
Yeah.
So that's, every month we have a different event. Even now, right now, we have trivia nights. We have holiday trivia, friends
so
trivia.
Cool.
So we have those
90s.
things going on. 90s trivia. Right, we have those things going on. We'll have a New Year's
I'm going
event.
to that, by the way.
No,
You'll
which
prob-
one?
you'll
90s
probably
or
Nineties trivia
Friends?
night.
90s.
It's
No.
gonna be fun.
The 90s went like this for me.
But you know what? People should probably, just because the world changes every day right now, people should probably check in before they come out. Check into your website.
Yeah.
Make sure.
Yeah. Well, you should purchase tickets online. I mean, we highly recommend that.
The best thing to do if you want to go to the aquarium and see it is to get online, purchase your tickets in advance.
Yep.
So that you can plan. Because the good thing is, Brian, and I know this because I've talked to you so much during this entire year as our board chairman, that I think the aquarium is you're on the forefront of protecting your customers. You've put so many parameters in place, not just, social distancing and hand sanitizers and wearing masks, but ropes, people don't touch the glass, and making sure the arrows that people flow through, so you're not.
Yeah, we got them flowing in one direction.
Yeah,
when they
so tell
come
us,
in.
just because I think that some people are still weary or worried.
Sure.
So.
Sure. So we definitely limit the attendance. I mean, that's one thing. And then, even while the weather is reasonably good, you can be outdoors. I mean,
Yeah.
there's plenty to see outdoors. We still have our sea lion, show that goes on 3 times a day. So there's all that to do outside. The penguins are outside.
Yeah, the penguins are so
Yeah,
cute.
I mean, the
The
koi.
penguins, I can't get enough. Every holiday that you dress the penguins up,
Yeah.
I'm like,
I think it's
love it so
hysterical.
Yeah.
much. I
We
love
actually
it.
did a TikTok on the penguins.
It was one
so
of our
cute.
biggest
And it was one of our biggest views.
Like 200,000 views of
Within
the penguin
like
doing
2
a TikTok.
hours. It was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I know.
And Halloween, we put them in costumes.
So
And,
my
cute.
God.
and we built like a Pope mobile. It's
Oh my
fancy.
God.
And we
That's
escort them around
Those
the
penguins,
Pope mobile.
by the way, should anyone get the wrong idea about the penguins being dressed up, those penguins live like kings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not king penguins, but they live like kings. For sure. Yeah, and staff takes great care. And then we have penguin encounters. We have all things to engage the public.
Right.
But yes, limiting our attendance, creating a one-way flow through the facility, helped a lot. People just moving in one direction rather than kind of crisscrossing around.
Yeah.
And of course, there's plexiglass everywhere. There's masks. We're doing all those things and just limiting the attendance essentially.
Well, going to the aquarium, I think, is a good idea. And I can tell you from experience, is awesome for any age year-round, because we've done it many times. And even though you've been before, go again, because there's always new, animals, and your team does such a great job of keeping the online and the live shows lively and timely and relevant. But if, especially this year, if nothing else, support those animals, because those animals really, they need us, and,
for sure.
And as a community, it's time for us to come together and not just
right. And we have a GoFundMe set up also. I mean, for those people that may not nearby and don't want a membership, but
so what's the GoFundMe? Go ahead and
just go to the Long Island Aquarium.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, and there's links on there for the GoFundMe. There's the gift cards. There's the membership. That's how always you can help, aside from just coming in and visiting us and the animals.
And just get your kids off the couch.
Yeah.
And come in, because that's what we
Real
need
quick though, can you just tell us about the shark dive?
Yeah.
I think that's so cool.
Yeah. So the story is on that is when The Apprentice show was in second or third season.
Wow.
They called us and they said, we're doing this episode and we want to see if we can dive with the sharks.
Wow.
And of course I'm like, we didn't have a program at the time, but I'm like, yeah, we can make that work. And the guy says, well, can they get in the cage and can we film? And I says, yeah. So I hung up the phone with the producer and I'm like, oh my God.
What did I just do?
Yeah, we got to figure this out. So I called out at Montauk a few people, fishermen I know. I'm like, I need a shark cage, And everybody had theirs occupied or scheduled. And I ended up getting a shark cage from a guy in Rhode Island.
Wow.
Brought it down for the weekend. We hooked it up on the side of it and we shot the whole episode. We had to sign the non-disclosures and the whole thing because we knew who the two finalists were.
Right.
And I knew at that point that we had to plan when they were going to release that episode 2 months later, that we had to be ready
and prepared.
Yeah. So, and we did. We rigged that thing, set it up. We built a brand new cage ourselves. 3 people go in a cage. Our dive master goes in, and then 2 guests go in.
Have you done it?
Yeah, a couple times.
Oh, okay.
And you're going to do it.
She's going to do it. That's why I'm saying. Let's talk about it.
Before. You're definitely going to do it. It's a very unique experience to be in the water. It's silent, dead silent in there, and you're in there with the sharks. As long as you don't stick your arm out the cage, because you only can do that once, you'll be fine.
You only do that once. Brian, you know that I fear silence, which is why I talk all the time.
Well, no, you can talk. By the way, you're in full communication with a tender up there that has the button up and down the cage. You're in full communication with the dive master in there, and he's making sure you're breathing normally. You're not panicking, hyperventilating, and they take you down. We do this almost every day, right? So, and we take inexperienced people. You don't have to be certified or anything.
Right, that's what is important.
And you go down, and first time, you get to chest level, and you'll drop down on your knees, and just to make sure you're comfortable, and then you can stand up any second you want. And then since you're like, all right, and you're good, and you're settled in, and you're comfortable, and the dive master will communicate, everybody good, and you have microphones. You can hear each other, you can talk to each other just like we are doing here, and then they lower you down.
Scary.
And you're in there for like 20 minutes. I mean, it's a nice engagement.
I think here's what I say.
Time.
I say, I don't know if you heard our last episode where we designated "You're Not Gonna Take It" is the theme song. Oh, you didn't.
We're
hear the
not
music
gonna
of
take
it.
it.
We're Not Gonna Take It is the theme song of 2020.
Okay.
The Dee Snider. So if we all make it through 2020, I say we got to go in the Shark Tank.
Yeah.
And just see if you make it through 2020, you got nothing else to lose.
Yeah.
Go ahead, do it.
I love it.
Brian, you're amazing, not only because you're our board chairman, which we are so thankful to have you. I mean, again, we're here doing this on our jobs, drinking wine with you, by the way. How do you like this wine?
It's great.
Oh
it's
my
great.
God. I'm going to have a little, you're kind of slacking on your board chairman duties of filling up my glass because.
My niece got married at the aquarium last October, and the next day we had shuttles and we all went to
the wine country.
Yeah, RJ.
Oh, wow.
It's so good. Yeah. It's such a great
it's close
location.
To the aquarium.
Mm-hmm.
And it's big field, and so we had a really great time.
But this wine is delicious, and it's really, I feel like it's got so many of these great flavors. It's really robust. What do you think? Do you like it?
Yes, very much.
It's really good. So thank you for joining us.
Thanks,
we really
Brian.
appreciate everything that you do, and we'll put all of your
handles and
in the notes
websites
so people can get a hold of you.
Great. Yeah.
And
definitely.
thank you.
They know where to find us.
Yeah, and I guess I'll call you about the shark dive. Sharon, you're going with me.
I was just, I
Are
don't
you
know.
gonna
I'm
go
a
with
little
me?
claustrophobic.
No,
I don't know.
You
Are
gotta
you?
go. If I do it,
Maybe
you
I'll
do
drink
it.
some Long Island wine.
No, you can't drink
Okay,
wine.
so
No
that's
drinking.
gonna say that.
Brian's like, no,
No
that's
drinking
where I
and
draw the line.
diving.
That's
Okay.
where I draw.
All
No
right,
drinking
fine.
and diving.
Yeah.
That's good.
Driving.
Do you have that sign, no drinking and diving?
No, but now I'm gonna do
Because
it.
that's
Yeah,
really
see?
smart. Cheers, Sharon.
Cheers.
Cheers,
All right,
Sharon.
we're gonna cheers. All right, bye,
Really.
Brian. Hey,
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Cheers.
All the
Thank
best.
All right.
you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks. Okay, Sharon. Do you know what time it is?
It's
It's tea time. Okay, Sharon. I've been teasing you with my tea time for like a solid week.
know.
So I feel like you should go first.
Why? Are you going to make me wait even
Yeah.
longer?
Yes.
Okay.
Now I've completely hyped it, and it's not going to be anything as exciting as I think it is. But yes, you go first.
Okay. My tea time this week is a little solemn but exciting as well. We are losing one of our staff members. She is going on to other things. Maggie, our producer of this podcast.
I know we talk about Maggie every episode,
know.
and Maggie always gives us wonderful nuggets like drunk train.
But you know what's awesome? We have
know.
Alyssa now, and
I know.
Alyssa's going to be holding up those signs and
I
be
know
like,
we're lucky to have Alyssa, but you know, this. To be fair, this podcast was Maggie's brainchild.
I know. That's why I feel like it had to be my tea time to let everyone know that
That's so awesome.
you know Maggie's is going on to other things.
I know, and also, by the way, bigger and better things like a big time national job.
Yeah.
Maggie's going
Yeah.
big time. So that's I'm just gonna go on the record and say it was you and your diva-ness.
I kicked her out. No,
Sharon
no.
was like,
I think
Maggie.
Maggie's like, I can't stand her.
Yeah, it's probably both. Maggie was like, I've created
She's too
monsters
freaking
with
needy.
you two.
What did I do?
I wanted to do a podcast, and now you guys are freaks, and we're both like, no, she's been here for 4 years.
Yeah, she's
with
really
Discover Long Island.
contributed so much to this organization as one of our executive team members. She's just been amazing, and I'm sad to see her go,
Yeah.
but I'm so excited for her.
I know. It's bittersweet because she's so great, but we're going to miss her. And we're so lucky to have Alyssa, who's on our team. And actually, Alyssa has been the wind beneath our wings this whole time, like editing us. Thank God.
Oh my God. Thank God for Alyssa. And I think like she's already telling us,
Yeah.
you know, this first episode,
She's
she's
like,
like, pause.
You're going too long.
Or like wrap it up.
Yep.
Or, you know, she's really got that producer
She
style.
does. And we're excited. So you'll be hearing more about Alyssa and the notes that she gives us during the episode. And that's, you know, change is hard, but I always say, you know, if you don't like change, I stole this. I don't say it. It's
Okay.
a quote. If you don't like change, you'll like irrelevance even less.
Ooh.
So you always have to keep changing to grow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's difficult, but it's
It is
important,
difficult.
you know.
It's important. It's, you know, what's so good about it is that you said this is Maggie's brainchild, but she's given us that opportunity to take this and run with it. And we really nailed it now that we're divas.
We nailed it.
We
If
nailed it.
do say so
I think-
ourselves.
exactly.
All right, so cheers to Maggie.
Cheers
and
to
cheers
Maggie.
to Alyssa.
And welcome, Alyssa.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
And then Chris is still here behind the camera, like, you know, we're like, Chris, you need to get whatever filter Brie has
Chris,
that makes us look skinny.
download it onto your Sony camera, if possible.
Because we need filters.
And tan. You know,
I
the
know.
blonde.
And angles.
Right. I was in here before with him. Poor Chris. I'm like hovering.
He's so good.
He's so good, but he's like setting up the set. And I'm like, why don't you sit there? I'll tell you.
Yeah. Well, Chris is a guy, so he's like, sure, you look fine. We're like,
Yeah.
no,
Nope.
we do not look
Nope.
fine. No.
Today we better look good, Chris. That's all I got to say.
It's like, Chris, because last week was a thumbnail on our YouTube.
Because
Because I was like, no,
squash that video.
we did not like it.
No.
So we'll see if we make the cut this year. But thanks for Chris for being with us. So it's great. It's hard news, but it's great news.
It's good news,
and
yeah.
it's exciting, and we're looking forward to the future.
All right, give me your
So,
tea time.
are
I'm
you ready?
excited.
So-
I'm ready.
So I have been doing something at night on the side, including tonight, where I'm going right after this, which is scary considering how much wine I've drank. So last year for Christmas, I got Arthur Murray dance classes
Oh my God.
from Thomas.
No way.
So we've been dancing.
The both of you?
Yes.
Oh my God, I
I know.
love
I
it.
can't wait. I've been dying to tell
Oh
you.
my God, I love it.
It's not, I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's not, I'm not going to say it's bad.
How many have you done so far?
It's good. It's hard to say. So we met with our dance instructor for Arthur Murray, and
I have so many questions about this.
And I want to say it because I think it's cool. Like we were talking about the aquarium, going somewhere, going out, doing something.
Things, yeah.
And doing something that you've never done before, like whether it's a shark dive or dancing or something.
Shark dive or dancing, I don't know.
Equally scary.
Equally scary. True, very true.
And I think it's so important for people to go out of your comfort zone and try something and do something new. And so they go through this whole process. And so Arthur Murray is like a national company.
Yeah, and we have so many on Long Island.
Also, I'm a Dancing with the Stars fan. So
yes, but I have so many questions. Are you doing salsa?
Okay, so here's what they tell you in the beginning, and they I have so much to tell you about this.
Wait, I don't know
Alyssa is going to kill us because I'm going so over. So. Okay, so they tell you like what dances do you want to learn? Do you want to like A, B, C, in order, and there's a ton of dances.
Okay.
And I did like A on waltz and A on tango, and like maybe B on salsa, and then I created my own.
Of course,
I didn't do C. I did an X.
Ah, you great. Wait, hold on, Kristen, the diva.
I was like, it's not C. It's literally X.
Yeah.
I don't want to know anything about it. I don't want to know the rumba or the X.
Okay. All right.
So, and I tried to have this very tough conversation with our dance instructor. I'm like,
man or woman?
Man.
Okay.
He's so cute. But I'm like, I want to learn. I want to leave this. I want to know 2 dances.
Okay.
Well.
Okay.
So I'd rather just focus on these 2 things
and
don't
screw everything else. Yeah.
And he's like, so that's not the way it works because
you
all the dancers work
moves.
together and they have
this.
He's like, we've been in operation for like 120 years.
Slow
and
your
I'm like,
roll.
No.
But wait, I have
Let
so
me
many
tell
questions.
you about your policy. If we were just to focus though on
just
these two things, then I would come out of here in like 3 classes.
And be fine.
But let's go straight into teasers.
Teasers.
We'll keep it short.
Okay.
You go first.
Okay, so teasers this time is we talked about last couple episodes, we're getting specific merch for this podcast.
It's the holidays, got to get that merch.
Got to get that merch. But one of the cool things we're going to be doing is the 12 Days of Christmas.
I love it.
I think it's so cool. I'm very excited about it.
Our team is so creative.
They really are.
They're really.
I mean, we are so lucky.
The 12 Days of Christmas. Come on.
Seriously.
You got to buy something every day.
I know. And we're going to do social posts against it, and it's going to be so cool. So, yeah.
And my teaser is the other things. With Maggie being gone, we've really disseminated a lot of her duties.
Yeah.
And one of her responsibilities was she did the tea time like podcast and Twitter.
Yeah.
And Catherine took it over. Catherine, who is our TikTok guru,
I know,
is now going to be doing our Long Island Tea podcast social.
Instagram and
oh my
and
God.
Twitter. It's going to be
I'm
so
telling
cool.
her, like, and now that she knows I'm doing dancing, she's going to come in here and tell me to dance. I'm not going to do it.
I know. She's
not gonna
totally
do it.
going to put you on the spot. You know that.
She's always like, we're going to do a dance. Like, no.
I know. But you have to.
No.
I'm going to be like,
I'm not going to do it.
Yes, you are.
I'm not going to do it. But I love that Catherine's taken over. So that's my tea time, is that I'm really excited about that.
And dance. I think that's going to be awesome. But like Catherine's taking over all the Twitter and the Instagram, which is the @Long Island Tea podcast. Or you can email us.
Yeah. Spill the tea at discoverlongisland.com is our email.
Yeah. And we talked about the merch and the new merch discounts for the 12 Days of Christmas. And that's shop.discoverlongisland.com.
Yeah. Basically, if you go to discoverlongisland.com, you can get all of this. You can go to the tea, you can go to the Long Island TV, you can go to Shop Small, you can go to regular merch, you can go to trip itineraries, you can go everywhere.
Even if you follow us on Facebook.
Yeah.
I've been seeing those ads come up. That's just so cool. It's like all of our merch on there.
Oh, it's coming. We're like hitting you hard for the holidays.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you know what? We all need to get out. We all need to love Long Island. We all need to know what to do to support our local merchants, our local attractions, our local shops. And I'm happy to have you as my partner to help share the information. So, okay, this is it. Next episode is their last episode.
Yeah, we're popping champagne.
I'm so pumped, by the way. I looked at the champagne that we have.
Really?
Oh, Sharon, it's good.
Girl,
it
we're
is
in
good
for
stuff.
it. I love it.
Stuff. All right, so cheers.
Cheers.
And we'll see you next week.
Another episode down.
Thanks for tuning in to Long Island Tea, brought to you by the Long Island Wine Country. Check out our full episode guide at discoverlongisland.com/tea and share your tea with us at Spill the Tea at discoverlongisland.com, including topic suggestions, local tips, and your LI stories. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Long Island Tea Podcast.